When Pauline Conner first saw her future husband, Garlin Murl Conner, shortly after World War II had ended in 1945, she didn't quite understand why the town was making such a big deal about such a scrawny guy.
I said to Mother, my God, that little wharf rat, he couldn't have done all they said he done.
They lived a quiet, simple life on a Kentucky farm. Conner never talked about his actions outside Hausen, France, or any of the other battles he fought across Europe and North Africa. He is the second most decorated service member of World War II, but he never even displayed his medals in his home.
They were literally in a cardboard box in his old Army duffel bag in the bottom of the closet, in a living room closet.
The young first lieutenant came home with more than medals. Nightmares of war filled his dreams. And there were physical scars, too.
He had a place about that big in his hip that was about like a softball, I'd say, that a hole in his hip like that.
Because of that hip wound, Conner wasn't even supposed to be on the battlefield on January 24th, 1945.
He escaped from the hospital, essentially, rejoined his unit. This attack comes, and he volunteers to go to the front.
Conner, with nothing but a gun and a phone line, dashed onto the battlefield, holding off 600 Germans and 6 tanks coming at him as he called in artillery strikes from a shallow ditch.
So he was out in front of the American lines. And the German infantry at one point, got within 10 meters of his position. And the last phase of the assault, he basically called artillery on himself.
Conner proved more than just a scrawny Kentucky farm boy, making his phone line the deadliest instrument on the battlefield as both German and American firepower bore down around him.
On that particular day and that particular moment in time, I believe he was the most important person. His ability to call for fire, his ability to control that part of the battle was absolutely essential to the division winning the fight that day.
It took nearly 20 years after Conner passed away to get his Distinguished Service Cross upgraded to the Medal of Honor, an upgrade made possible by the eyewitness accounts of 3 of Conner's fellow soldiers buried deep within archived records. Pauline Conner never learned the full depth of her husband's bravery until after he died at the age of 79.
He was my hero. I loved him very much. And I'm just so thankful that I get to see this in my lifetime.
And as she accepts his medal in her hands, she holds his memory in her heart. Carla Babb, VOA News, Washington.